Greetings, comic book friends. It is Wednesday, TGIW. Thank God it's Wednesday. And it has happened. The other shoe has dropped. Over the past couple weeks, I've gotten off light. I've been happy with the number of books that I've gotten. Never really got out of that 10 sweet spot. Man, that other shoe fell hard this week. A total of, I believe, 16 books I got today. So one of three things, it's a big week overall. A lot of my stuff happened to be happened to come out today, or three, I just still have too much stuff that I'm subscribed to. It's one of those three things. I don't want it to be the last one because I don't know what I would drop if it were. Well, there's some things that are close to getting dropped, so it might solve some of the problem. But man, a lot of this stuff is like, I really wouldn't want to drop this. So let's see. Savage Spider-Man. So again, spinning out of Nonstop Spider-Man. It's weird, you know. I'm not. I don't know. Like it's fine. It's one of those things where I'm stuck with it because it's a Spider title, and I'm kind of obligated to getting Spider, at least Peter Parker Spider titles. It's a self-enforced thing, but it still is a thing. It's a little weird him turning into a giant spider monster. I mean, if you put aside how just dumb it is, then it's fine, I guess, if that makes sense. Department of Truth number 18. And Department of Truth is great. I ended up with a number of variant covers this week instead of the regular covers for different reasons. Some of them were because I liked the variant better. Some were because the variant cover was the best condition one, I think, which was kind of this case. The regular cover was fine. But also the variant cover is really great in this, so it's a little bit of both on this one. But yeah, I do really like this cover. Great book. Current story is fantastic. Again, still one of the best books on the shelf. Devil's Reign Omega. So wrapping up Devil's Reign, which was probably easily one of the best Daredevil stories ever. I don't know how far I want to go with that, but at least within recent memory. And that's saying a lot because Daredevil has been so great for the past, I don't know how many years. It's just been a really good book. But Devil's Reign in particular, this big story is really good. So curious to see how it wraps up. Punisher, another great book. The Hand has given Frank Castle back his deceased wife. It's weird. Things are kind of weird because she's like, I don't remember things, and so she's kind of figuring out that something is up. But the trade-off for that is he has become like, I forget what they call it. He's not like the leader of the Hand, but he's like the main killer guy of the Hand. And on his side, he's like, I'm okay with this. It's like I'm killing bad guys, right? But at the same time, anyone the Hand wants to go after and kill, they think they're bad guys, even though they might not be. So, but it's very good. Some of the background, the Frank as a child stories is really good in that as well. Last book you'll ever read, a very good Whoreish title. I would suggest reading it. It's probably tough to get individual issues at this point just because of the print run. It's Vault. Comic stores usually don't over order on these. They usually order to order. So it might be worth picking this in a trade, but it's a very interesting story. Again, very in the mouth of madness. If you've ever seen that movie, and if you haven't, go see In the Mouth of Madness, and then once you realize it is one of the best movies ever made, know that last book you'll ever read seems to be influenced by that. So it's also good. Saga 59. It's the return. This return of Saga has been great. It's better than I expected it to be. I really like what's going on. I really like the new characters. The old characters have matured in great ways. It's fantastic. Something is Killing the Children 23. Same old stuff. Same old stuff with Something Killing the Children. It's good. As soon as it becomes not good, I will have no problem dropping it. But for now, it is good enough to keep reading. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did we just have one of these last week? I felt like I just read one of these. The current... Well, there's a couple of things going on. The Mutant Town thing is still going on, but also some things on... was it Voltrum? With the Voltrumites? Is that what they're called? And the Triceratons. Where they have this pact. Before the Triceratons were kind of slaves, and now they're kind of separate, but the Voltrumites are... Is it Voltrumites? That's Invincible. I think that's Invincible. I'm getting my fictional alien races mixed up. The brain race, the brainy dudes. Some of them are not happy with not being in total control anymore. And there's also this baby. It's the Triceraton. They weren't supposed to clone anymore, but one got cloned. So anyway, it's great. If you ever had any interest in TMNT, find a good starting on point and jump on it. It's so good. Aquaman 4. This is good. I'm starting to get into... I like the dynamic between Arthur and Black Manta. Jackson still really isn't part of the trio. He's still kind of like, Black Manta, you're evil. Whatever's going on, I don't want to be a part of it, which is fair because he is evil, and Jackson has had a bad run of events with him. But the dynamic and the banter between Arthur and Black Manta is pretty great. So if you're into Aquaman, I think it's worth it. If you're not, then don't worry about it. It's not one of those like, if you're not into Aquaman, you'll be into it with this one. It's if you like Aquaman, it is a good Aquaman book. If you don't care about Aquaman, you're fine. Batman Beyond the White Knight #3, fantastic story. All the White Knight books have been fantastic. If you haven't read any of them, I highly suggest at least picking up the first one in trade just to kind of see what it's all about. But there's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember exactly how many there have been, but it's all of this. It's its own sort of pocket universe sort of thing, where kind of different rules for characters, but it's all very, very good, and I highly suggest it. Robin #14. So this is still in Shadow War Part 7. I've read the other books that I subscribe to that have been part of Shadow War. There's maybe been 2 or 3 of them. And I can get enough out of context to know what's going on in that issue in order to get some enjoyment out of reading it, which is sort of a best case scenario, I suppose, since I don't want to get the other books that I don't subscribe to. But I will be glad when it's done and each of those books can kind of just go back to doing their own thing. It'd be nice. It'd be very nice. Swamp Thing #13 out of 16. Still good. I mean, they extended it, right? It was a 12 issue or 10 issue series, and they put it for another 6 because it had gotten such high praise. So, how often do they do that with a limited series? They, extend it. It's a pretty rare thing. Moon Knight #11. So this is one of the variants that I got. I just like the cover more in this case. Moon Knight has been good. It took me a while to get into it for this run of Moon Knight, but it's kind of started to hit its stride, I think, and it's pretty great. Let's see. Amazing Spider-Man #2. Yet another variant that I got because I liked it better than the regular cover. I think the regular cover was a John Romita Jr. And I know he's on the interior. I am not a huge John Romita Jr. fan. I should say I'm not a huge fan of his current style. Like original John Romita Jr. was great, and I don't know where the more I don't know how to explain it, liney style and all of his faces sort of look the same. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. But he used to have a more normal comic art style. Now it's very distinctive John Romita Jr. And it has been for a while, for a long time actually. But very very early John Romita Jr. was a lot more classic comic art. And I get it. He's trying to like he wants a style that's all his own. I understand that. I just don't like it. I just don't like that style. But hey, what are you gonna do? Yet another variant, Hulk #7. I mean, look at that cover is just awesome. That's such a great cover. I mean, yeah, J. Scott Campbell. It's very rare you get a J. Scott Campbell cover when it's not scantily clad women. So to see him do the Hulk is actually pretty great. And this is a fantastic cover. I don't know. It was above and beyond. Like, it doesn't have a tie-in to the Banner War thing. The regular cover definitely did, but this cover is fantastic. As far as Banner War goes, it's still pretty dumb. We'll see how it continues to go, and we'll see if I continue reading Hulk and Thor when it's all said and done. The last one is a new one. I had a hard time saying no to it. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus. I believe this is a limited series, but I do love Spider-Man 2099. I have a full run of Spider-Man 2099, so it makes sense for me to continue on Spidey 2099 stories when they show up, and I typically do. So I went ahead and picked that up as well. Despite it already being a heavy week, it was just kind of something I couldn't pass up on because I'm me. But that's my own fault. But that's it. Still, it's like a pretty chunky week. But in everything aside from like the Hulk, where I'm kind of like because it's Banner of War Hulk stuff, where I'm kind of iffy on. Everything else, I'm excited for. Everything else is pretty fantastic. So a big week, but a good week. It's bound to happen every once in a while. It can't be perfect. Can't always come in that sweet spot. Sometimes I'll come way under. Sometimes I'll go a good amount over. And this was just one of those weeks where it went over, unfortunately. But I think it all averages out in the end. Hopefully. Anyway, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. How'd you do this week? Did you think I missed anything? What did I get that you're looking forward to? Let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe and notification bell, all that stuff. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.